So I did not try smoking for the second and final time until racking nausea drove me to it again about 2 months later. I waited this time until darkness and deepness of night, about 10:30 p.m. before lighting up, and the lit end looked like a little star that had tenderly dared to come close to my face. As I puffed, it came closer, this little minnow in a sea of darkness. And finally, there were holes in the air. I breathed again. And I went inside, closed the door, ran up the stairs, shut off all the lights in the hall, went in the bedroom, shut off the lights in the bedroom, slammed the door, got in the bed, shut off the lights, lay there like this. My bed smelled familiar and sweet, but just lying there felt provocative in some way. And I felt myself on the verge of something I didn't want to know. And so I just did what everybody in the whole United States does on that verge. I turned on the TV. Have you ever come home in some way from some long trip, some vast distance? Have you ever revisited a part of yourself you abandoned in the process of becoming? I met a man on that TV who showed me at once how only true innocence can render the profane sacred, and of why I can never smoke the pot. What happened was, I flipped channels. I saw smiling, heard music, heard laughter, saw gunshots, read white words, heard hard numbers, saw a license plate, flip, 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 until I came to this man. I met this man. This man was on a cable channel, and he was preaching the gospel. He was a preacher with a sacred purpose. He was African American, I'd say 45 or so, and he was fervent and arresting, as if this were his last chance at something. I stopped flipping. He called to me. It was just him and me in that dark bedroom. I was stoned in my bedroom, sick with cancer, alone with this man. I began listening to him. Now, it became clear that this was a very low-budget situation. Just this man, in a small room with a tripod and a camera. And he was like me in this way, just a fervent woman alone with a monitor. We were very singular people, very focused. I let him speak. He was talking about the Lord and about how the church misrepresents the Lord in the most passionate way I have ever heard a cleric speak of such things. His appearance was modest to the point of being negligible, except for his eyes, which smoldered like hot flint. And he spoke from beyond his body. He did not know anything about his body. He addressed his whole soul in that bare room to the camera, which he knew I was living in, with all my disease and despair, with holes in the air I breathed. And he said, I do not trust myself to that church that doesn't know God. I do not trust myself to that church that doesn't know God's holy purpose. I do not bind myself to that church that doesn't know how God loves me, the ways and days, the tireless ways of God's love. God loves me different from how that church loves me. That the church wants me fancy. The church that thinks God cares for things. God does not care for things, and that's the word. Do you want to hear the word? Number one! And with this exclamation, he raised his fist, the back of the fist held up to the little tripod, and his pinky finger sprang up from the other fingers to illustrate the number. Number one, the Lord does not care about your car. The Lord does not care for your Eldorado. The Lord does not care for your Cadillac. The Lord does not care how you get to his holy temple. In that church, they think you drive nice. They care about your car. The Lord does not care. The Lord bless and kiss the soles of the bare feet that bring you to him, to the Lord, to his holy temple. The Lord does not care about your car. Number two! And then the pinky finger dives down, and the ring finger impossibly springs up alone. The the thumb restraining the other fingers like the raccoon mother of little babies who want to run forward from the nest into the night, not sensing a predator just beyond. Number 2, the Lord does not care for your fur coat. The Lord does not see that. The Lord does not care that you wear fancy furs. That is not there in the eyes of the Lord. He sees you. He sees you. He sees the heart that beats under all that debt. The animal that died for you. The way he died for you that day on the cross as he hung there. The Lord does not care for your fur coat or for your fine jewels that you wear wound around your neck, around your ears, and suddenly, and now I can see it coming. I can see it coming and I can't get out of the way. And he's going on like this, and I start to cry weakly. I want my husband, I want help, I want a witness. I can't bear this beauty, this innocence alone. I can't bear it, I know I can't. He is alone with his camera, and I am alone with mine, and we are on a collision course that's going to kill us both with pure love. God help me. Look, God appears when you're alone. It always happens. Think of Moses, the bush catches on fire. He's just a stammering salesman or a farmer or something. His hand is like the hand of God. Benevolent, predictable, obscene, and I just can't fucking take it. It became clear that I would have no witness, that I would bear this beauty alone. This truly innocent preacher, he didn't know. How could he not know? Number 3! And then the ring finger dives down like a puppet, and up comes that little finger. In all its functionality and pride, and it is waving at the camera in annotation to the holy name, and my dear friends, that is all I remember. That is the kind of laughter that feels like bleeding. It's cleansing. It's part of God's plan. It is painless and silent and fatal before even the wound that invoked it. That's what that laughter was like. And I tell you, I haven't gotten over that laughter. I'm still in that room, I'm still on that bed, and I'm laughing. That man condemned me to a bed of laughter. And that bed, if any, is my deathbed, not the one the doctors talked about. I am completely in love with this man, and no one I know has ever seen him. I told a couple of friends this story. They said, well, what channel was it? Maybe we get a video recording or something. I don't know. Well, think, my friends say. And so I start at the beginning. Channel 1. Channel 2. You know, I just can't smoke pot. I just really can't. Thank you.